Hey, what's up, doers? Rick Cali Heat, back with another video of sourcing. This is the first stop we did with Ross. I'm with Jesse actually in this video. This Ross is actually my first time at this Ross, and it was pretty big. It's a good selection. He had a bunch of aisles, so the first time me being here, so I'm kind of just walking around seeing what they have, just kind of doing quick glances, and then I was trusting Jesse just to kind of know more exactly where the good stuff was. So but initial first thoughts, I liked it because they had, like I said, a big selection. So they have some LeBrons here. The LeBrons, I still think they're asking like for $59.99, still a little pricey. They had a bunch of cleats, which I'm starting to see again back at Ross. This is more of the back wall. This was the big sizes. I think that was like a size 12.5. Yeah, I usually try to stay away from sizes 12.5 or any bigger sizes, with especially in cleats or track and field. Some cleats like Jordans, I'll just grab just because it has a name, and they're so cheap. Though I know they'll eventually move. And then these Zoom, I actually had these in high school. I wanted to get a pair if they had my size. I was going to cop a pair, but they didn't. Man, I love those. It shows you how old I am now, guys. So now that I grabbed some cleats, and you'll see at the end of the video what I grabbed, but actually I grabbed two pairs over there at that Ross. And the second stop is Burlington's Coat Factory. I've been to this one a couple times. This first couple times I've been there, we really didn't find anything. You just have to be patient with this one. The clothing department is not that great at this Burlington's. The other one that I go to, the clothing department, is awesome. I'll record it next time I head over there, and I'll show you guys. But this one, the shoe department's pretty decent. It's somewhat big. It's spread out, so you have to kind of take your time. You have to go back and forth in the aisles at least 2-3 times just to make sure you don't miss anything. Because like I said, a lot of times you kind of do. And the way they're set up, it's so big and spacious that it's really hard to glance at everything at once. So just to play it safe, you should go back and forth at least 2 or 3 times, especially if you're by yourself and you're not with anybody. And this is the back wall. They have a bunch of good stuff for a lot of people, especially size 15 or over. All right, there's Jesse. He's doing some research on some Reeboks that they weren't really doing that well. I think they were going for like 50 or 60 bucks, if that. Excuse me. And there's a bunch of cleats here, a lot of cleats. Their cleats are going for like $16.99, just like at Marshall's and at Ross. A lot of RBXs. And these Prestos, actually Jesse got a pair of those at the other Burlingtons, and I actually got a pair of those too in the tan colorway. My size 12, and I have them listed I think for $119 or better offer. This is the back wall again, and I'll kind of go over what we got and we put in the basket. Excuse me, what we put in the basket, and just kind of debating and doing the numbers on it and see what we can do. All right, this is the stuff that we kind of grab right now. This Air Maxes. These other pair of Air Maxes, but they're regular B grades. These EQTs. And those are just personal. I'll let you know we're still debating on these. These two are probably yes. And that's just an exchange. Back to the Marshalls we go with Jesse.
Yes, sir.
Third and final stop of the day, Marshalls. Now this is the Marshalls I went to before my last video. As you can see, the boxes are just everywhere. Nothing's pretty much organized. So like I was telling you guys in the last video, kind of make sure to look at the boxes below and see if there's anything there, because a lot of times the top shoe does not match up with the bottom box. For example, if you see a pair of Kobe's, let's say, on the top shelf, you're like, okay, cool, I want to see what sizes they have, and you look down, a lot of times they won't have that box. It'll be an Adidas box below it or a Jordan box below it. So don't just look at the top shelves and assume that those are the only shoes they have. Double check and look at the bottom shelves to see if there's other shoes, because you'll never know. I actually came up on some great shoes by doing that. Some Air Force Ones I flipped. I literally made like 2.5 times my money. It was just unbelievable. And then Jesse found another pair, actually at a different Marshalls, same exact way. Just looked at the box below and we copped those, and those same thing, same sizes, same 2 pairs, and we grabbed those. Jesse doing a little work, doing little numbers, trying to see if those, I don't think they planned out. They're going for like 50, 60 bucks. Good for the personal collection. Now this Air Max Flare, I really like this colorway. Jesse actually ended up getting a size, and his size is a size 10, but this is a size 13 and I'm a size 12. Going for 50 bucks. They're not really good to sell right now on eBay or whatnot, because people are undercutting each other. And this is the kids section. So those Air Max Flares is actually a pretty good example of telling you guys, what to look at below, because that was the only pair of that Air Max Flare that was there. So like I said, double check the shelves at the bottom to make sure you guys don't miss anything. This is the back clearance wall. And I think we're walking over to the bags, trying to see what we have. And then we did a couple runs back and forth, just to double check to make sure we didn't miss anything. Now at the bag section. This Marshall's bag section has been somewhat dry lately. There really haven't been any good sales. Nothing been in clearance. Everything's still been for like $29.99 or $39.99. And those camo, Under Armour camo bags that were here that I actually bought for $8 that I sold all within a week, which was great on eBay. I think I sold them for 45 bucks. But there were some extra ones that they had at normal price at $29.99. And other Marshalls, they had them for $29.99, and actually haven't seen them lately, and they were just literally one day to the next, and they were gone. And here is the random find of the week. A paddleboard that's 10 feet 4 inches for $5.99.
Random.
Wow, I've seen it all at Marshalls now. Alright guys, back at the house. Show you guys what I got. So I got these at Burlington's for $16.99, size 12. And what's crazy is I just like, hey, I'll post these up. See, I was actually going to keep them, but I posted them up on Poshmark. And literally that same night, I woke up the next morning and they sold. So I sold them for 45 bucks on Poshmark. And I'll make another video later on about Poshmark. I'll talk about it, the pros and cons, and what I like about it. But I actually went back to Burlington's and grabbed the last pair. There was only one more pair of these, a size 8. So hopefully they sell. And then here's another great pickup. So like I said, I picked these up over at the first Ross we went to. And what's funny is when I was getting them, the cashier was like, oh man, I was actually going to buy these same exact cleats on my break. But he's like, I felt bad for the guy, but he's like, it's all good, bro. You can have them. So I got a size 11 and 11 and a half. And what's crazy is I actually ended up listing that shoe that night, and literally the next day it sold. So really happy. And the only problem is that one shoe came with one bag, so I'm selling one shoe. The one I sold went with the bag, and I made another listing without the bag. So, and hopefully those move pretty well. So yeah, so got these Jordans sandals that moved within a day on Poshmark, and these Nike cleat Vapors that sold within a day as well, one pair, and I still have the size 11 and a half. All right guys, that's it.